over a month ago, I made 2 videos on the quarterback battles in the NFL. And roughly 1/3 of the NFL has a quarterback battle going on. And if you haven't seen those videos, click in the link in the description. They'll be right there. I'll label them. So click on those and then come watch this video. And when it comes to the quarterback battles, I decided that would be a good idea to review my predictions. Now, I made roughly 11 predictions right here, and I thought that I'm going to see how accurate I was with some of the quarterback battles. Now, some of the quarterback battles might have been a little bit obvious, but I just want to see about how accurate I was. So, at number 1, let's start off with the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets, they might be trying to go for an 0-16 season, so maybe a lot of people thought that Hackenberg would finally get the start. Now, when it comes to Hackenberg just freaking sucks, okay? He is not polished one bit whatsoever. Very talented quarterback. However, I just look at him when he was staring down that one wide receiver and that all-pro safety Landon Collins just came up and just understood the read and just took it. I just saw this guy is just not ready for the NFL level. And I just feel it was a very questionable pick at the time, and then the Jets got him. So when I look at this, I definitely thought Hackenberg was the worst out of the 3. I definitely thought Petty was better. Now, Petty's been an interesting one. He's been a preseason warrior over the past couple of years. A lot of people have been thrilled. A lot of Jets fans have been thrilled about his preseason. Obviously, he's done well, but obviously it's about the games and all. And I've seen him play in real time in games against not very good defenses, and he just didn't do very well. And it was pretty obvious McCown's going to get the start. And my logic was, you want a veteran quarterback in front of your future Christian Hackenberg, or who I think is going to be your future for the New York Jets, because I definitely think McCown, veteran quarterback, he understands what he's doing. Just Hackenberg just needs to listen to someone, needs to learn from someone. He needs a freaking mentor. He needs a quarterback to be his buddy and to be the starter. Josh McCown is that kind of guy. He fits that build perfectly. Now, will McCown carry the Jets to the playoffs? Probably not, but hey, that might not be the Jets' goal this year, and it probably isn't. And then at number 2, I got the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm not a big Mike Glennon guy. I definitely thought that he was going to get the starting job, and he has the starting job. But I did say that Mitch Trubisky might take over midseason. Now, when it comes to Trubisky, I was on the Trubisky train in February. But then I went off in roughly around March and April, and I went to Deshaun Watson. I went from thinking Mitch Trubisky should become the first overall pick to Mitch Trubisky should be in the middle of the first round. Now, when it comes to Trubisky, he was the most polished quarterback coming out of the 2017 draft. Yes, sirree, of course he was. However, for a quarterback that his main advertising or his main value is how polished he is just wasn't very impressed by it. I thought his accuracy still needs some work. In the preseason, it definitely looked like he's improved a lot. He still needs to work on his timing, and his accuracy isn't exactly quite there. There's still some bad things that he does. He messed up a handoff and here and there. But overall, I definitely think that Trubisky, he's probably going to start during the midseason. However, this is about who starts week 1, and it's going to be Glennon, even though I do think Mike Glennon's going to be the next Brock Osweiler. Now, the next ones we got is the Houston Texans. Now, I like both these quarterbacks. I went to Deshaun Watson. I thought Deshaun Watson should have been the first quarterback to be picked in 2017. I thought that would be great, but I was going to give it to Tom Savage because I originally thought Savage belongs, that fact that DeAndre Hopkins himself, even though I made my video before DeAndre Hopkins quote, Hopkins said Tom Savage is the quarterback. Now, when it comes to Savage, I definitely think that he's a pocket passer. He understands what he's doing. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet, and the team sucks in the goal line. It's definitely a big concern, but I do look at Savage, and there's a little bit something there. He deserves at least a second year to show something. He's only played in like a handful of games, and they definitely think that maybe if Tom Savage was in the playoffs, maybe they would have beaten the New England Patriots at home in the division now. Who knows? But I also really do enjoy watching Watson, even though out of the 4 big names, the big rookie names coming out of this draft, even though he probably looked like the worst one out of the 4, I'm still crossing my fingers on Watson. I still think he has a bright future ahead of him. He has a complex offense to learn. And obviously, I'm a picking and sticking guy, so I'm a Watson kind of guy, even though I think Trubisky, Kaiser, and Mahomes were better this preseason. Then you got the LA Rams. Now, this one was kind of a debatable quarterback battle, but the reason why I put this here is the very outspoken Eric Dickerson. Yes, Eric Dickerson, who actually got Jeff Fisher to be fired, and he doesn't even work for the organization. He's just one of their former players that they eventually got rid of. So I just kind of clued right here, and Eric Dickerson, Mr. Dickerson himself, said that Sean Mannion or Sean McManion, I don't even know who this guy's name is, but he's a 6'5" quarterback who basically chucks the ball deep and has a high football IQ. That's who he is. Now, when it comes to Sean Mannion or McManion, I don't know. Okay, Sean M. I'm just going to refer to him as Sean M. He's the kind of guy that Dickerson was pushing for. And yeah, maybe he has a high football IQ, but I just don't think that he was going to beat Jared Goff. Jared Goff, I see something in Jared Goff. I see potential in him. Sure, they hired a buddy for him in Sean McVay, but it's at least an offensive-minded coach, and that should help him. Now, my big concern, though, with Jared Goff, even though I pulled for him to win the quarterback battle, even though I thought in my mind it should have been a slam dunk, is Goff is not really a winner. His winningness is just not there with the guy. I don't think he might not have the compete level in him, because I believe he was the highest first overall pick to be a quarterback that had the lowest win percentage out of him. Yes, he did not have a very good win percentage coming out of college, being the first overall pick. I think he had the worst one out of any quarterback taken first overall. And that's a big concern right there. And he already started off his career 0-7 with the Rams. Ouch. So I just look at this, and they definitely need a high-power offense. And I look at Tavon Austin, I look at Sammy Watkins, and they're both in the same tier of receivers who have big games, but they just don't live up to the consistency, and that's who they have. And so they're really going to be relying on their bell cow, Todd Gurley, and I think that will be interesting because Todd Gurley definitely had a sophomore slump in 2016, but he's facing the Colts week 1. The Colts their run defense is a little bit it's on the poor side. But hey, Colts fans, don't worry. You won the Super Bowl with having the 32nd ranked run defense in the league. It's fine. We understand. But as I look at Jared Goff, I thought it was pretty slam dunk. I saw some stuff out of Goff. He definitely has some pretty good mechanics right there. So I think you have something right there with Jared Goff. And I think that he's just a guy that's going to need a high-power offense. But I think he has potential to be a pretty good player. Now, the next one I had was the Broncos. I picked Simeon, and Simeon's another check mark. So right now, I am 5-5, baby, 100% so far. And Simeon, just to start him off, he is the ugly duckling, or he is basically the bastard son of the Denver Broncos. They just don't think that Trevor Simeon should be the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. I'll get to that. Because Simeon, he's a game-managing quarterback. Now, when they first got Peyton Manning in roughly around 2012, they had this high-power, throw the football down the field offense. Simeon kind of struggles with that. And Simeon, he ain't terrible, but right now with this Broncos job, it's not whether he's going to be the franchise quarterback. This is a tryout for him. This is a tryout for all the 31 other teams in the league besides the Denver Broncos. The Broncos don't want him there. They want Paxton Lynch, and it's because of one person and one person only, John Elway. Now, John Elway is a fantastic GM, and they did the right decision to start Simeon. However, LA wants his boy, Paxton Lynch. That's the guy he thinks. They invested a first-round pick in him. This guy ain't a second-round pick. Sometimes with second-round picks, you can kind of dance around and maybe hold them back a little bit. But first-round picks, you're gonna bench a first-round pick for a second straight year in a row. That's a big concern. And when you look at LA in 1984 was a big and famous prospect. You think Andrew Luck was big in 2012? Man, look at John Elway in 1984. This guy was so big, Bill Walsh wanted to trade Joe Montana for John Elway to get the first overall pick. That's how good he was. And we all look at Montana, he was great and all, but Elway was that kind of talent right there. Big quarterback, he could run, and most importantly, that man could throw. And he ended up being a pretty darn good leader himself. Yes, he did. There was a Sports Illustrated article. They were saying, is he the next Johnny Unitas or the next Mickey Mantle? And this, when you look at LA, you see that more in Lynch than you see in Siemian. Now, Lynch wasn't this guy that was going to be the first overall pick of 2016. I believe he was like the third quarterback taken that draft. Well respected right there. And he is a quarterback who can move, and he has a big arm. Maybe not as gifted as what Elway was in 1984, but at least that's more similar to whatever Siemian supplies. Siemian was a 7th-round pick in 2015. So you just look at that, and I think Elway kind of wants to look at himself and thinks to himself, well, I can relate more to a quarterback that fits my style than a quarterback that doesn't. And Siemian doesn't fit that. So right now, this ain't Siemian's kind of thing. Siemian, this is basically a trial for all the 31 other teams in the league. Siemian might be a 49er one day. That's something I would look at. So, as I see right here, Paxton Lynch is what they want for the job, but unfortunately, the ugly duckling got the job for the Denver Broncos, and predicted by me. Now the Cleveland Browns, DeShone Kizer's a starter. However, I pick freaking Brock Osweiler. Why, Lord? Why the hell did I pick Brock Osweiler? I made a video on why Osweiler would be better in 2017 with the Browns. I didn't say he was going to be good, but I at least thought that maybe if he has an O-line, maybe he gets a coach in Hugh Jackson when he runs a more simplistic system, that he might get the starting job. I thought that. And in my video I made in that part 1, it was Osweiler versus Kessler. I didn't even put Kizer in there. I thought Kizer was going to take a sit back. Kizer kind of reminded me of RG3 a little bit coming out of college. I thought he needs a little bit of time, needs a little bit of work on him. I just didn't think he was polished, and now it's the exact same thing I said. And Kizer, I did end up talking about him, but I didn't talk about him much, and I gave the job. I said it was going to be with Osweiler. Oh, I was 5 for 5 right there. Now I'm 5 and 6 because I picked Osweiler. That's just, oh god, that's just ugly. Ugh. And they freaking cut him. Oh god. And I still don't know why the Browns traded a 2018 second round pick or a 2019. I forget, but it was like a pick of the following year. It was perhaps that because Osweiler was traded before the draft. And I thought, oh, they want to invest him into a starter. I'm like, oh, he's going to be the starting quarterback. No, that wasn't. And you know what? The Browns probably made the right move right there. I just think to myself, oh, I picked Osweiler. But Kizer, he looks as if he might be the second best quarterback in this preseason behind Trubisky. It's kind of a debate between Patrick Mahomes, who I'll get to a little bit later, and Kizer is definitely a guy I just didn't think he was polished enough, but he looks a little bit better. He's making a lot of progression. He deserves a job. But I was talking about freaking Cody Kessler versus Osweiler. He's not very much in there either. No one really talked about freaking Cody Kessler. So overall, I just look at that. It's shame on me right there. Shame on me for picking Osweiler. Now, when it comes to the next team, I got the Chiefs. Now, this one, I pick Alex Smith, even though Patrick Mahomes is nipping at Alex Smith's heels. Yes, Mahomes has looked good. And even though Samuel Gold has covered this, that Mahomes' footwork still needs a lot of work. I absolutely believe that. Mahomes still needs work on his footwork, but it has gone to the right direction, and he looks more accurate. In his last preseason game, one of my big criticisms of Mahomes, I'm like, he looks good so far, but he hasn't thrown the ball deep. He hasn't thrown the ball deep. He was throwing the ball deep all over the place his last preseason game. So I just thought to myself, Mahomes looks a little bit better and all that. Maybe because he has Andy Reid right there. And he also has a fairly talented offense around him. Not a bad supporting cast right there. But I honestly thought Alex Smith was going to get the job. He has the footwork. They run a West Coast system in Andy Reid. If you ever watched the Bill Walsh Football Life, he always talks about their footwork, how you have to have good fit. And I think Alex Smith is overrated. I do. I just don't think he takes enough shots down the field. And obviously, I'm not a big fan of game-managing quarterbacks. I'm not. I still think a game-managing quarterback could be a Hall of Famer. I think you could argue maybe Troy Aikman was a game-managing quarterback since he hit off the ball a lot. Maybe Bart Starr was a game-managing quarterback, how you debate it. I think that's something, or some people even think Tom Brady's a game-managing quarterback. So that's something you put right there. But a lot of people say Mahomes, he could be anything from Cutler to Brett Favre. So obviously it's all over the place. But the guy just doesn't have the freaking footwork down. But he's freaking talented, and Mahomes will see the job. We'll definitely take this job one day because I just don't see it from Alex Smith. What Alex Smith did in the divisional round was putrid, overrated playoff performing quarterback. He's done it because he has a great supporting cast. Doesn't really have any great playoff moments by him. People talk about this guy like, oh, he's like Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, bitch, please, this guy ain't Aaron Rodgers. You kidding me? Yeah, sure, he has a high quarterback rank because he doesn't take any shots down the field. He missed Tyreek Hill or some receiver deep down the middle. And if he threw that ball and he actually looked at that side of the field and threw the ball to that receiver, the Chiefs would be in the AFC Conference game, not the freaking Steelers. So I just look at that and I'm like, Alex Smith, he's overrated. I made a video on him, of course. Click in the link in the description. Now, the next one is the Vikings. Now, the Vikings one's kind of a weird one because some people thought Teddy Bridgewater was going to be healthy. But the fact is, they said 2 years for him. And trust me, Teddy Bridgewater is pretty young, so just take some time with him. And also, Bradford doesn't look bad. I think Bradford is better than Alex Smith. I think he actually takes shots down the football field. And I don't think the deep ball is everything with the quarterback, but at least if you're just going to be a game-managing quarterback or if you're just going to be a power run team, at least throw the football down the field. I don't consider Russell Wilson a game-managing quarterback because he takes shots down the freaking football field. Bradford does it, and Bradford doesn't throw a bad ball. And one thing is, I'm on the side with Sam Bradford a lot because he's never really had talent around him. I'm always kind of defended to the players to never really had talent around him. Bradford, he's had a mediocre career before, and yes, he was overpaid when coming out of college, wherever that ridiculous contract that the Rams gave him. However, I look at Bradford, and what's the best wide receiver, best passing game target has he ever had? I know he's had Steven Jackson in his career, but he's a running back. What about passing game? Is Tavon Austin his best target ever? Is Stephon Diggs his best target ever? Is Kyle Rudolph his best target ever? Kyle Rudolph, who's a run-blocking tight end, was that his best target ever? I just think to myself, and I'm like, he just never had talent around him. And I see him, he throws a pretty good ball here and there. And could he have leadership? I'm not sure about the leadership part about him, but he has something to him. He has something to prove with him. I think he's actually better than Alex Smith, and he's around the 16th best quarterback there. He's somewhere around there, but hell, he's better than Alex Smith, I'll tell you that much. Now, the next one is I got the 49ers. I gave this one to Hoyer. Pretty obvious right there. And they talk about maybe C.J. Beathead a little bit. C.J. Beathead, I don't know, hands off the ball a little bit too much. At least Hoyer understands how to run an NFL offense. That's why he keeps on getting employed. That's why. If you know how to run an NFL offense, you constantly keep on getting employed. Even with Colin Kaepernick, I feel like if Colin Kaepernick had a grip of a pro-style offense, he would still be in the game today even if he had the anthem protest or anything like that. I think he'd still be in the game if you understood that because Kaepernick's talented. But the reason why Kaepernick doesn't have a job now, I'll quickly talk about this right now. He's going to be turning 30 in November. And he's definitely a project, and that's something that's going to be – it's kind of hard for a coach to kind of work with a quarterback who's kind of up there in age, and he's just not polished. You just want to get an NFL veteran right there. Now, the next one is for the Jaguars is Blake Bortles, and Blake Bortles has basically been a disappointment for the Jaguars. He hasn't been what he is, and Shanahan has outperformed Blake Bortles. There's times where I thought Brad Allen, even though Brad Allen hands off the ball a lot, had to throw better balls than Blake Bortles. It's terrible. I mean, Bortles plays on the West Coast. He needs to be more accurate. He just does, and he's not a bust yet. However, I just think you need to do it. He has the talent around him. What he did in 2016 was just putrid. Like, the Jaguars had probably one of the top 10 teams they ever had in franchise history, a 6-10 team, and yet the following season they go back to 2-14. Partially that's on Gus Bradley, but still though, Bortles had the talent around them, and Bortles, who was overrated in 2015, another guy should have made a video on because they put Derek Carr at player 100 in the NFL Top 100. You know where Bortles went? Bortles went 53rd. 53rd, isn't that roughly where Andrew Luck went, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston went? How the hell did Bortles get there? It should have been Derek Carr should have been there. Bortles should have been at 100. It's mind-boggling right there. But I picked Bortles to win, even though he needs to perform better. And Chad Henne, the reason why I didn't pick Chad Henne is because he's old news. He's just simply old news, and he's just not what they want. They want to throw the football down the field. Bortles supplies that. Now, another one is the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills are going to have Tyrod Taylor starting, and that's another one I picked right there. And I think it was pretty obvious. There's not really much right there behind Tyrod Taylor, but I just look at it, and I think Tyrod Taylor, he supplies at least something. He at least supplies a little bit of something there that you could put him as a starter. And there's no really backup. I don't think he's not. He's not an Osweiler. He's better than Osweiler, and I think he's also better than Brian Hoyer. So you do have something there, something fancy. And I think it's going to be interesting what he's going to be under a new offense or new head coach, more like it, that might run a different offensive system. But I think Tyrod Taylor might find a job somewhere else in the future or something. I don't think he's going to be a Buffalo Bill, but yeah, he ain't a terrible quarterback. He's below average, but he ain't terrible, and I picked him though. So let me look at this percentage. So I got them right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got the Browns 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 out of 11. I think that's an A. I want to say that's an A right there. So obviously it wasn't the most difficult thing right there. I think I got roughly, if I do my math, I got like something like 90% of them right. Or I would say maybe 80 or 88% or something. I think, no, I got 90, something 90%. I don't know. It's hard for me to do math. It's been a long day for me, people. But 90%, well over 90%. And obviously, it's not that challenging. I pretty much really, anyone can really do it. And I did throw in some names that, is that really a quarterback battle? Is the Jaguars a battle? Is the Bills a battle? But I at least want to consider him because I like to consider a lot of things. If you want to say that Aaron Rodgers is terrible, I think he's not even a top 10 quarterback, I'll listen to it. I might think you're dead wrong, but I'll listen to it. So overall, no, I'm happy with my percentage, even though it's not that impressive. But hey, I had some fun doing it. So what do you guys think? And also tomorrow, I might make 2 videos tomorrow. Ooh, 2 videos, yeah. And I'll do that. There's some things that some of my subscribers want to do. I'm thinking of doing some of that. If football starts this Thursday, let's go, people. So, all right, guys. See you guys next time. Peace.